Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make this pendant. This is a wire wrapped gemstone pendant. So the gemstone down here is an oval one. You can use any gemstone that you can get hold of. It can be a circular one. I think a round one would be even better. So this oval one, you make sure that there is a drill hole through it, because we are going to put a wire to secure the gemstone to the frame afterwards. So these are all copper wires that are being woven, and I've also added a wire wrap bail here to attach to the necklace. And I have got some beads here. I've got Swarovski beads, about 6, I think these are about 4 mm, and it is just wrapped around a wire rose frame. At the back down here, it looks something like this. I put a few wires here to secure the back so that the gemstone does not flip. Yeah, so if you are interested in making this gemstone, we can get started, and I'll show you what is needed to make this pendant. To make this pendant, we will need, first of all, the wires. So I've got 3 pieces of 60 cm. So these are 60 cm length of wires, and each of them is 18 gauge. So it is a round wire. The cross-sectional area is round, so there are 3 pieces here. And they come from a spool, so I got it from Rio Grande. So you can see from here is copper wires, round copper wires, 18 gauge. If you don't have, you can buy it from any craft store near to your home. Need not buy from Rio Grande. Now the weaving wire, I've got it from Rio Grande as well, and this is supposed to be a round copper wire, 21 gauge, but I couldn't get because I ran out of it, so I used a square wire. I think it works just as well. So it gives a different finished product, the different look to it. So this will be the weaving wire. So I attach it to a spool as and when it's more than enough, so I didn't actually measure how long I need, but as long as it has at least a few meters of it, I think should be okay. So this will form the weaving wire. So then we have got this gemstone. Is the size about 40 mm in the length and about 30 mm in width. So this is the gemstone. Then I also have got 4 round beads. 4 mm round beads. So these are the smaller beads. I've got 7 of them. So I use this colored. So you can see from here, the color is about whitish. I think this goes very well with the purple color of my pendant. So okay, so we've got the beads settled. Then we have got the tools. So we first of all have got this nylon pliers. So this is very useful for making a wire wrapped pendant. It is used to straighten wires and to flatten the weaves. So this one you must have. So it is made of nylon. The jaws. This is the chain nose plier. Is used for gripping wires. Gripping wires. And these are the side cutters for cutting the wires. So I'm going to remove all these, and then we can get started. So what we need now, I forgot to tell you, so we also have to have these round rods. So I've got these rods from Rio Grande as well, and the rods are about 3 mm in diameter, about, I would say, maybe about 20 cm. About 1 foot or less. It doesn't matter whether it is that long. It can be a bit shorter if you are making smaller pendants. The diameter can be smaller, but they don't sell anything that is smaller than this, so I make do with this. So if you cannot get this rod, you can use maybe 14 gauge hard wire, round wire, but do not use wooden rods or plastic rod, because your weave, it will bite into these wires, and then it will be very difficult for you to remove the rods eventually. So please use metal ones. Okay, so let's get started, and we'll see how the weave is done. Yeah, so we have got these 4 rods here. Yeah, and we have got our weaving wire. Yeah, so down here is our weaving wire. So I'll try to sort of uncoil a certain length of it. Yeah, maybe this length will do. You start off by picking up one of these rods, and you might just want to leave a little tail on one side. Yeah, so maybe something like this. Yeah, and then of course you would want to go around this rod. Yeah, so I'll show you, see whether you can see or not. So it goes 1, yeah, 2, then after that the third one. Yeah, the third one, like that. So once you've got those 3 rounds in the first rod, you will introduce the second rod. So can you see the second rod down here? So I have introduced a second rod to the first rod. It is just to make sure that it holds. Yeah, so you want to make it into one big structure. So then you go down and go in between the first and the second rod. Yeah, so in between the first and the second rod. So it looks something like this. Then you will go on to the third one, introduce the third rod. Yeah, then you go in between the second and the third rod. So it goes like that, you see. And the last rod, the fourth rod, will be introduced last. So then you would just go down and go up between the third and the fourth rod. Yeah, just give it a gentle pull, and then after that you will go up all the way to between the first and the second rod. Yeah, so you can see I go up to in between first and the second rod, and then you come down between the third and the fourth rod. So try to push it a bit nearer, so something like that. And then you go all the way up to the first rod and come down between the second and the third rod, like so. And see? And then after that you go to the first rod, and then you make three loops. 1, 2, through, yep, and then the third one, yep, and then you come down to the second one, yeah, between the second and the third rod, yeah, and you repeat the process, yeah. So after you have done a few sets, as many sets as is required, you will reach until here where you can see that we need to stop doing the weaving. And to determine how long this weave should be, what you can do is to take this bead, yeah, the gemstone bead, and you try to use a piece of Scotch tape and run around the circumference, yeah, with the Scotch tape to determine the circumference, because then only we'll know the length. Yeah, so it's somewhat here, it's somewhat until here, like that. Yeah, so then I will put it against the Scotch tape against the ruler. So I've got a ruler over here, and we can then align the Scotch tape with the readings on the ruler. So it's approximately starting from 1, I get about 11 cm. Yeah, so I need about 11 cm in circumference, but it's advisable to make it a bit longer, maybe 1 or 2 cm longer, because then the gemstone will be able to sit comfortably within the framework, because there are quite a number of wires that are taking up some space within the inner circumference. So if you look at this length I have done, you will notice that I've got about starting from 0, so it's about, I would say, about 13 cm, 12 to 13 cm. Yeah, so that's what we are looking for at, yeah, 12 to 13 cm. Okay, so once we've got the correct length of our weave, what we need to do next is to remove the rods. So we have got these 4 rods, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So we start off by removing the top one. It doesn't matter the order, as long as you get them out from the weave, but do it gently. Do not exert too much energy. So we have removed 1 rod. Yeah. You continue to remove the rods, and then after all the rods have been removed, I will show you the structure that we have created, the weave that we have created. Yeah, so continue to do this. So eventually, after removing all the 4 rods, you will get a very loose and flexible structure that looks something like this. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, so of course it will be a bit longer than 12 to 13 cm because of it starts to expand a little bit. Yeah. So what we want now is to get our wire. Yeah, so remember the 60 cm wire, the 18 gauge wire. So we try to thread this wire, the 18 gauge wire, through the holes that we have created, you know, the loops that we have created. So the inner loops, yeah, the one that is right at the inside, you try to let it go through all these loops. Yeah, so the first time you go through is pretty simple because it is still quite loose and straight. The weave is still quite straight, but eventually the second part might need a little bit longer to get the wire through. Yeah, so you can see that my wire is almost coming out at the end down here. So there you go. So it comes out like that. So yeah, so this part comes out. Yeah, so leave about 20 cm. Yeah, so you want this part to be 20 cm so that it's enough to make the bail. So I would say something like maybe something like 18-20 cm. Okay, so I think that would be good. Yeah, then I think what we should do next is to fold it. Yeah, to fold it like that. Yeah, so just to fold it this way like that. And how much we need to fold it depends on the circumference of the pendant. Yeah, so let's try to make it a little bit tighter. You just push the wires out like that so that it doesn't expand. Yeah, so you can notice that I'm trying to push this framework, you know, so that it is a little bit closer to one another. So I just push it a little bit like that, and then I'll see whether I can put this thing in. Yeah, so let's try to get this in. So I can push it a little bit further, so maybe I'll try to push it a little bit further like so. Yep, so it's like that, something like that. So let's measure and see whether it is enough. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so it will be something like that. So then what I need to do is to try to ensure that it doesn't keep on expanding. Yeah, so I am going to get this thing across. Yeah, so that means I will twirl the wires. I will twirl these 2 wires, one over the other like that. Yep, twirl it like that, like that. Yep, so that our frame and our weave doesn't keep on opening up. Yeah, so I have already done that, and then you can see that when I place this is, I would say, a little bit tight, but I think we can just open up a little bit so that there's enough space for this to go through. Yep, I think I need to open up a little bit. Yeah, so let's just get this untwirled. Yep, so like that. So let's see whether okay or not. Let's go this way. Yeah, so maybe like that. Yeah, so that would be a little bit better. So like that, you see, something like that. Yeah, so I will then twirl it here. 1, 2. Yeah, so it's one wire over the other just to catch it so that it doesn't keep on opening up. Yeah, so like that. Then if the wire is crooked, you can use the nylon pliers to straighten it. It's always good to straighten the wires like so. And see, So until here is something like this. Yeah, still the structure is still loose. Yeah, so later maybe we will put some weaving wire to make it a little bit more firm. Yeah, so it's something like this. Yeah, so try to put it back again. Yeah, so it'll be something like this. Yeah. So okay, so we have got two wires sticking out like that, and the next thing you want to do is take another piece of this wire here, and what you can do is, this is the 18 gauge 60 cm wire. Yeah, so you try to get the middle part of the frame, and we will try to sort of secure this in between the weave. Yeah, so I'm going to do just that. So we'll take a little bit, a tail like that, this tail, this length here, and we will sort of put it in between. Yeah, in between any two weave right at the bottom. Yeah, so we will just go through this one, that 1 or 2 rounds will be sufficient. So because this is quite a thick wire, so it should be a little bit more secure. So once you have got 1 or 2 rounds, what you need to do is just cut off this part here. Yeah, the leftover, and then use your chain nose plier to bend this part, yeah, right into the weave, so that it doesn't stick out. Yeah, basically what we want is to make sure that it doesn't get caught, yeah, in your clothes or the skin. Yeah, so I have bent it right inside, so it should be pretty safe. So what do we do next? So we are going to thread this bead, yeah, this bead through the middle wire. So I'm going to put this bead down here, and the wire is somewhat here. Yeah, so we are going to just thread it. Yeah, so thread it through. So the wires are a bit long. I should have made it a bit shorter, but I think it's okay, better to have long than eventually not enough. So I have thread this middle wire through. So you are left with now, you have got 3 wires. Yeah, so that's the middle wire here, and the 2 wires just now, one from each tail. Yeah, so what we need to do next is to ensure that this gemstone is right at the center. Yeah, so we want it to be right at the center like that. Yeah, okay, so now we are going to get the weaving wire, so the 21 gauge weaving wire, yeah, which comes from a spool. Yeah, so this one is the 21 gauge, yeah, weaving wire. So I'm going to detach it from the rest. Okay, like that. So I'm going to start attaching the weaving wire. So this is 21 gauge, yeah, weaving wire. So you can attach it to one of these wires first. Yeah, so I think I will do something like this. I will just attach it here, go through one wire to make sure that you secure the weaving wire first. So you've got 1, you've got 2, yep, so I try to secure it down here. So it's like that. Yep, it's like that. 1, 2. So you've got a tail sticking out, but later we'll cut it off. Yeah, so after you have done this, you would want, I think cutting off now would be better, because it is getting in my way. So I'm going to cut the first part here off first, and then I'm going to bend this part in, yeah, the cut end, yeah, so that it doesn't get caught in our clothes and or poke anybody, yeah, the person who's wearing it. So I'm going to just push it in, yeah, push it in like so. Okay, so then I will be able to put in the wires like that. Yeah, maybe go through a few rounds. Yeah, so we have go through just to secure the 3 wires together. So 1, 2, 3. Yep, 3 rounds. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3. So we go through 3 rounds like that and push the 3 rounds down. Yeah, and you might just want to use the chain nose plier to put the 3 rounds together and to flatten the 3 rounds, yeah, so that it sort of grips the 3 wires more firmly, like so. Yeah, so okay, so you got until here. So this middle wire, you make it straight, while the other 2 wires at the side, you try to put it in such a way that it is like diverging. Yeah, so middle wire straight, diverging, the other 2 wires are diverging. The reason why we do this is that we are going to try to make a bail. Yeah, so the bail is made of 3 wires here, so I'm going to go through the bottom wire first. Yeah, I should have used a smaller gauge, yeah, a thinner wire. Yeah, but it's okay, never mind. So 1, 2, yeah, so 2 times, right around 2 times the lower wire, then you go up. Yeah, go up the middle wire, go through or up, yeah, over the middle wire. So you just go over the middle wire, and then you go underneath the first wire, and then you just wrap round 2 times. Yeah, 1, 2. Yeah, 2 times. Yeah, 1, 2. Okay, you got 2 times up there. And then what you need to do then is to go under the middle wire, like so, under, and then you go 1, 2 rounds the lowest wire. Yeah, this third wire. Yeah, so 2 rounds the third wire, like that, and then give the weave a bit of a push. Yeah, otherwise they'll look very sparse. Yeah, so then once you've got 2 rounds on the lower wire, you then go over the top wire, the middle wire. Yeah, go over the middle wire like that, go over the middle wire. It's caught a little bit. Yep. Go over the middle wire, then underneath the first wire, 1, 2. Yeah, 1, 2, and then use your chain nose plier to push your weave down. Yeah, to push it closer to one another. Yeah, make sure that it's close to one another. So I've used a bit of thicker wire, so it's a bit stubborn. Yeah, so I think the thinner ones are easier to do. Yeah, so but never mind, we'll see how it goes. So then the next one is to go underneath. Yeah, so your weaving wire goes underneath the middle wire. Yeah, and then 2 rounds on the third wire, 1, 2. Yeah, 1, 2 around the third wire. Yeah, and then after that you go over the middle wire. Yep, and you go through here. So I'm going to continue doing until we get to the part that we have got 2 cm. Yeah, 2 cm long in a diverging manner. Yeah, so and I'll come back afterwards. Okay, so we have reached until this part so far. What I did was I had the 2 outside wires diverging at the beginning, yeah, and then I made the weave around it, and then I made the 2 outer wires converge, and the middle wire still stayed straight up like that. Yeah, and I made the weave, continue to make the weave until it is about 4 cm long. Yeah, so if you measure, I put it about 4 cm, round about 4 cm. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 cm long, the bail. I think it will be matching with the size of the pendant that I have. It's pretty large. So the next thing you want to do is to make a coil round the bail, and to do this you push the bail a little bit forward first. Yeah, just a bit forward. Yeah, like that, and then you put anything round. It can be a pencil, something cylindrical, can be a pencil, can be a pen, and I just use this knitting needle, and all you have to do is to bend it around the cylinder so that your bail will fall or roll over to the other side. Yeah, so you can see on the back part down here, it will look something like this. Yeah, so your bill will look like that. Yeah, so it's like that with the 3 wires now. So you can see the 3 wires are still here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So at this point, what you can do is you can cut the weaving wire. So I'm going to cut the weaving wire at this stage, and then I will tuck it in. And for the same reason that we do not want anybody to get, hurt by the sharp edges. So we will just tuck it in like so. I will just curl it in, yeah, so that it doesn't scratch our skin, yeah, when we wear it. So there you go. So now we are left with these 3 wires. So what we want to do now is to bring this right hand side wire, yeah, and then to just make it a coil, so and sort of turn it to the front. Yeah, so I sort of bring it to the front, and the other one down here, the one on my left, I bring it to the front as well, so that you have got 2 front wires coming up like that in preparation for making the wire rows with the small beads, the 4mm beads. So now we have got 2 wires to the front. Yeah, so these are the 2 wires that are hanging out like that, and we will just use the pliers, the nylon pliers, to straighten out the wires. Yeah, I think it's easier to work when the wires are nice and straight. So there you go. So the wires are being straightened out like that. So what we can do then is to try to make the first butt of the rows by making a turn. Yeah, the 2 wires make a turn like that. Yeah, you can see just now I was just turning it like that. And then you can then take 1 wire, put it underneath the other wire. Yeah, so take 1 wire, put it underneath the other wire, and then come out like that, about 90 degrees from one another. Can you see? So this wire here is 90 degrees with this wire, and then the other wire that we were putting on top will go underneath. Yeah, underneath this wire, and again it's 90 degrees like that. And then at this point, I think we are ready to insert our first bead. Yeah, so let's see how many beads we want. If it is too many, we won't want to put too many. So we'll see, and we'll play by ear. Yeah, so the first bead goes in. This is our white colored bead. So we will just thread it through, and then we will then go through here like that, and go underneath this wire. Yeah, go underneath this wire. Yeah, okay, and then this wire down here will go underneath this wire here. So it's sort of 1 wire chasing another, but every time it goes underneath it. Yeah, so you try to put the next bead not too near the first bead, so that they are spread out. Yeah, so at this point I'm going to put the second bead, and this second bead will just sit on the second wire. The first wire had already 1 bead. Yeah, so now we have got this bead down here, and then we will continue. You just go round, yeah, firmly, and then it goes round the first wire like so, underneath the first wire like that. Yeah, okay, and then this first wire will go underneath the second wire. Yeah, and then maybe we'll install another bead around the first wire. So here we go. So we have got another bead here, so I'm just threading it through. So we've got another bead, maybe you put it right on top here. Yeah, right on top, and you see it's right on top like that. So these beads are pretty large. I might just need 4. So we continue like that, just to capture that bead, yeah, so that it doesn't move. Yeah, like that. And then now we do on this wire. So this wire will come down like that, go underneath the previous wire like that, and then after that we put another bead on the second wire. So this is another bead here. Yeah, so we have got 1 more bead here. So there you go. So we've got 4 beads. I think 4 beads looks nice to me. I'm quite happy with it. So it goes like that. So it's like that. So I think I will end it up by tugging this wire in. Yeah. So I'll just cut it in, cut it off. Yeah, I'll just try to cut this off. Yeah. So using my cutter, and then tuck it underneath this 4 beads. So although I said that just now we need 7 beads, but I think the beads look pretty large. We don't want to overwhelm the whole structure, the whole pendant. So we will just tuck this in, yeah, right underneath, yeah. So we just go right underneath. Make sure that it goes underneath the whole structure, yeah, like that. Okay, and then this one, then I will also go around here, and then I will also cut it off. Cut it off, and then tuck it in. Yeah, important not to scratch or the clothes or the skin. Yeah, just tuck it in like that underneath. Yeah. Okay, so something like this. Can you see? So we are some until here. You can see that these beads and this wire rose is to cover the ugly part, you know, the gap that's in between the bottom of the bail, yeah, and the bead, and this gemstone bead. So that's a nice structure like that, yeah, being done like that. Okay, good. So what is left down here is we've got one final wire that is left at the back here, yeah. So it is very useful because at the moment, do you see that the bead can actually flip, yeah, flip like that or like that, yeah. So the flipping might be a bit irritating. So what we can do here is to get this back wire to secure, yeah, to secure the bead using from the back, yeah. So maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this wire go through this part here. So maybe somewhere here, like that. You just thread it through and slowly push it through, yeah. Slowly push it through like that, and then try to get this loop in between the weave, yeah. We do not want to destroy the weave, but at the same time it's good for you to get it in between the weave, yeah, so that it sits very nicely there, yeah, like that, yeah. So one time would be good enough. The reason is because this wire is a very thick wire. I use the 18 gauge, yeah, 18 gauge wire. So one round is good enough. So maybe another one here. So that's why I leave it a bit longer, yeah, so that we can have enough wire to go all the way around. So another one down here. Let's get it in between the weave, like that. If you can't go through, you might just use your pliers to help you, yeah, to thread it through. The chain nose plier and to pull the wire, but we don't want to pull too hard because it will then alter the shape of the frame, yeah. So we have to be a bit careful this part here. Okay, so we got until here, and the last one maybe we get like that, yeah. So I think we go back to here, the top part here. So we go through the neck, yeah, of our bail, yep. So it goes through here, goes through here like that. Hold tight, yeah, and gently pull, yeah, gently pull. Okay, something like that. You pull it gently. Okay, so once you've got until here, what we can do then is to tighten it, yeah, tighten these wires. These wires are still quite loose, and to tighten it, what you can do is to grab these wires, yeah, and then give it a twist, yeah, give it a twist however you want it, yeah, however many you want, yeah? So maybe we make one more over here so that the wires become tighter, yeah? So like that, yeah? Isn't it pretty? Yeah, it's quite nice, yeah? So now you can see that this pendant cannot flip anymore, yeah? So it's very firm, yeah? Because the wires are supporting it from the back. So the last part that we want to do is to cut this off, yeah? This piece of wire off, and then we are going to tuck it in as normal, yeah? So we're going to cut it off, or we can actually make maybe a swirl, yeah? I think since I've got such a big long length of wire, I might just want to make a swirl, yeah? So okay, let's straighten the wire first, like that, and then we'll just cut a little bit of it, yeah, a portion of it, yeah, just a portion of it. So maybe I'll just cut from here, yeah, so maybe from here. So let's just cut it off, and then we'll try to make a swirl, yeah? So I think I need to use a round nose plier. I think that's the correct way of doing it. Yeah, so I just use a round nose plier to form the first swirl, like that. And then after that, I'll use the chain nose plier to continue making the swirl, yeah, like that. Okay, like that. So this swirl is to cover the back of the neck of the veil, yeah, which I think it is good because it's lots of wires there, hidden there. So you just want to make this also to end this wire nicely, yeah. And why not make it into something that is pretty, yeah? So here we go. So we have got the nice little swirl at the back, yeah? Can you see that? Yeah. So all right, now so we can see then that eventually we get a nice pendant, yeah, that looks something like this, yeah. And you can wear it, yeah, on occasions like afternoon tea with the girls out, yeah, or you can just wear it for mainly I think casual one would be good, and because it looks very eye-catching, it'll be focal point, yeah, of your necklace, yeah. So it is really very nice, yeah. So can you see down here? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, hopefully if you like this, yeah, you would want to try and see whether you can do it. You might just be able to do a better job than me, and let me know how it turned out for yours, yeah. Okay, so thank you for watching. Bye bye.